Picture this. I'm sitting at the dinner table, a casual moment shared with my husband, nodding along and pretending not to understand a word of Japanese. It was all fun and games, until he said something that completely caught me off guard. Suddenly, my carefree facade crumbled as I realized he was spilling secrets that I never anticipated. What he said next left me both shocked and amused, turning an ordinary dinner into a memorable moment. You won't believe what I overheard. In this light-hearted yet revealing moment, I found myself in a unique situation that many can relate to, pretending not to understand Japanese. The backstory is quite amusing. My husband, who is a native speaker, often cracks jokes or discusses our day in Japanese, believing I'm blissfully unaware. While I am familiar with the language and can grasp basic conversations, I decided to play along for a little fun. I wanted to see how he would express himself when he thought I was out of the loop. There's an undeniable thrill in being an observer in your own life, and I thought this would provide an amusing twist to our evening routine. Plus, there was a part of me that wanted to catch him off guard and hear what he would say when he thought I wasn't listening. As I sat there, the atmosphere felt light and carefree. I watched him animatedly describe his day, punctuated with laughter and playful gestures. Inside, I felt a mix of excitement and anticipation. Would he say something sweet about me, or perhaps reveal a silly secret? The tension was almost palpable. I was holding back giggles at the mere thought of his obliviousness. Yet, amid this playful facade, a tinge of guilt crept in as I considered whether I was being honest by not revealing my understanding. I wondered how he would react if he knew I was still tuned in, savoring every word. In that moment, the thrill of the game and the concern for our communication layers intertwined, heightening my emotions. I was both a playful participant and a secretive observer, eagerly awaiting what was to come. Little did I know, the conversation would take a surprising turn, leading to a moment that I would cherish and reflect on for a long time. The evening atmosphere was warm and inviting, filled with the rich aromas of delicious food and laughter. Dinner at our home often turned into an impromptu stage for my husband, who loved to share stories from his day in Japanese. He had a talent for making even the most mundane stories entertaining, whether it was recapping a conversation with a coworker or recounting a humorous moment from our favorite TV show. His animated expressions, combined with his melodic voice, could capture anyone's attention. On this particular evening, I had decided to keep my understanding of Japanese under wraps for a bit of fun. It had been a long week, and our interactions had grown a bit routine. The idea of shaking things up intrigued me. I wanted to see how creative he could get, completely unaware that I was grasping every word he said. I couldn't help but think how freeing it would be to experience his jokes and observations as if I were an outsider looking in. As he launched into a spirited discussion about his day at work, I nestled comfortably in my chair with a smile. His eyes lit up as he animatedly shared how his colleagues had prank-called him with silly questions about our upcoming trip. I could picture his coworkers' laughter echoing through the office, mischievous antics that were so characteristic of the workplace environment he often described. Their bond was palpable, each teasing remark woven into the fabric of their daily interactions, and it delighted me to know he enjoyed such camaraderie. When I glanced down at my dinner plate, I couldn't help but chuckle silently at the thought of him being the butt of the joke. But my amusement turned into curiosity. What would he say next? What hidden gems would his next sentences unveil? My heart raced at the thought, and soon I was invested in the conversation as if I were a secret detective, eavesdropping on the most intriguing case of the evening. The overheard comment. As my husband continued to regale tales from his day, I found myself drawn into his animated storytelling. Suddenly, in the midst of his laughs and gestures, I heard a comment that completely caught me off guard, and then I told them, "If you keep this up, I'll start speaking English with a hilarious accent. They'll think I'm a tourist." At that moment, a wave of laughter threatened to escape me, but I managed to hold it in with a playful grin, pretending to be engrossed in my food. The image of him, with his distinctly Norwegian accent trying to mimic an exaggerated, stereotypical English tourist, was almost too much to bear. I could see the exaggerated facial expressions he must have pulled, accompanied by a drawl he'd only reserved for comedic effect. But the humor didn't stop there. He continued, "Then they said they would record me and put it on social media. Can you imagine? Norwegian husband attempts English accent. I'd become an online sensation, just what I need." This revelation sent my mind racing. The idea that his light-hearted banter would morph into a viral moment was both hilarious and absurd, yet entirely plausible. I could perfectly picture it, a social media post going viral, with dozens of comments celebrating his comedic genius. The thought was delightful, and knowing he was oblivious to my knowing made it all the more enjoyable. The gravity of his playful words sank in, leaving me in a flurry of conflicting emotions, amusement, pride, and a touch of concern for how he saw himself in the eyes of others. Would he really have embraced such a feat? My heart swelled with love for him in that moment, and I couldn't resist imagining how this would all play out if I revealed my true understanding. As I quietly listened to him, a whirlwind of thoughts raced through my mind. Should I let him keep talking? I mused, torn between the thrill of the moment and the urge to join in the fun. I carefully constructed a mental checklist of reasons to remain silent. I was enjoying his stories far too much, and there was something innocent and playful about the charade. Besides, I thought, this moment is priceless. How often do I get to see his genuine, unguarded self? Maybe I'll simply let him think I'm clueless for a while longer. I pictured his animated face, oblivious to the fact that I was understanding every word. The more I listened, the harder it became to restrain my laughter. Yet, beneath the humor, a deeper realization began to form. Am I hiding too much from him? I questioned myself. What would he say if he knew? Would he feel embarrassed, or perhaps even betrayed? My heart tapped a rhythm of uncertainty as I contemplated the implications of my little game. It wasn't just about the language, it was about intimacy and trust. Do I want the laughs at the cost of genuine connection? I pondered, feeling tugged in two directions. As the evening progressed, I finally decided it was time to reveal my little secret. I placed my fork down, leaned forward, and with a smirk, said, "You know, dear, I'm starting to think that your English accent needs some serious work." His eyes widened in disbelief, and all the excitement drained from his face as he realized I had been understanding him the whole time. The moment hung in the air, and I burst into laughter, and so did he. "Well, in that case," he chuckled back, "I might just need to record a new version, Norwegian husband tries Japanese by proclamation." The room erupted in laughter as we both began to imagine the absurdity of that scenario. The evening was colored with joy and our shared humor, reinforcing the idea that, even in our playful little games, We both value each other's company and understanding tremendously. Engage with viewers. As we wrapped up the evening, I couldn't help but think about the myriad of funny situations we all find ourselves in, often involving language and misunderstandings. Have you ever pretended not to understand something, only to be rewarded with a delightful surprise? I invite you all to share your own hilarious stories or unusual moments when your actions may have taken a comical turn. Leave a comment below with your favorite misunderstandings, unexpected revelations, or playful secrets. Let's create a thread of laughter and shared experiences, because we all know that these moments, big or small, bring joy to our lives. Plus, you never know, your story might inspire someone else to embrace their own quirky adventures.